Cześć, tu Macie, witajcie w kolejnym odcinku z serii Marta is Dead. Ostatnio tutaj jakaś strzelanina w lesie miała miejsce, więc Julia stwierdziła, że pójdziemy właśnie tam, bo to jest na pewno bezpieczne. Dobra, w każdym razie chodźmy, sprawdźmy, skoro Julia tego od nas wymaga, to zobaczmy. Oni pobiegli w tamtą stronę, więc ja tak nieśmiało tutaj troszkę zerkam. Gdzieś stąd nadbiegli. Zobaczmy przy mapie. No, zbliżamy się tutaj do tego miejsca. Ogólnie pierwotnym pomysłem była jazda na rowerze po lesie do jeziora, aby spotkać białą panią. No, ale Julia najpierw rozmyśliła się z roweru, teraz ze spotkania i będziemy sprawdzać, co tu miało miejsce. My chyba jesteśmy już mocno blisko, prawda? No, melodia taka śmiertelna. Okej. Jakieś zwłoki mamy, tylko gdzie sprawcy tych zwłok są? Czemu jemu on na minę wlazł, dobra, on na minę wlazł i mu nogi urwało. No halo.
Oh God, please no.
A to ten, co ona go kochała chyba.
What have they done to you? Your handkerchief was the symbol of what you believed in. At least that is left of you. Dear Julia, are you surprised that I've addressed this to you and don't think you're dead? Everyone calls you Martha now, right? I know you too well. I can never understand why no one else can ever tell you apart. Not even your own mother and father. Martha is gone and I cannot reconcile myself.
Ups, koniec gry.
Ein Mädchen erschossen, du Idiot.
Scheiße, scheiße, scheiße. Was machen wir jetzt? Sieh mal, was sie um ihren Hals hat. Sie ist eine von ihnen. Es musste getan werden.
Sie ist die Tochter von General Erich K., du verdammter Trottel. Sie war die Freundin von diesem armen Kerl. Oh, verdammt, jetzt sind wir wirklich am Arsch.
Scheiße. Lass uns abhauen. Aber sie lebt noch.
Sie liegt im Sterben. Siehst du, wo du sie getroffen hast? Sie ist bestimmt schon tot. Wir müssen jetzt abhauen, sonst sind wir auch bald tot.
Ja dodam tylko, że szybciej czytam niż Julia i doczytałam, że Lapo chciał się z nią dzisiaj spotkać o północy w shopie. No, więc chyba ze spotkania nici.
I'm dying, I thought, but strangely enough, I wasn't afraid. In fact, I was almost relieved. When I returned, I found myself once again in the midst of a bad dream. One whose meaning I did not understand at the time.
O, znowu biegamy. Marta zapewne. Tak. Marta, chodź. Oddaję. Twój. Co mam? Twój. Przeznaczenie. Wygląd. Znowu będziemy sobie skórę z twarzy zdzierać? Aha.
I give you back. I give you back. I give you back. I give you back.
Czyli co, mam przez to rozumieć, że od teraz Julia się ujawni i powie, że jest Julią, nie Martą? Usia chyba nie będzie zachwycona. Boże, teraz. Płacę, patrzę. Płacę? Nie. Teraz patrzę swoimi oczami. Żeby biała dama z jeziora sobie zabiera do siebie tak jakby swoją ofiarę.
Two sisters were destined to die. Julia, the first sister, and Martha, the second. On Julia's day of departing, identical twins stood before me, impossible to tell apart. They questioned my presence, since they were still so young. Julia must come with me, I demanded, but they both claimed to be Martha. I explained that Martha's fate was soon to be the same, and their games were useless. I didn't have time for it. The war was keeping me busy. But they didn't concede, and instead kept insisting. Can we follow you together? No, impossible. Are you sure Martha will die too? Nothing is certain in wartime. What if the wrong person went with you? Then you would have cheated death. One would die unjustly, and the other would simply be delaying her fate. They discussed amongst themselves, then hugged before one of them came forward. She stared in a determined, almost threatening manner. I guessed it was Martha sacrificing herself, giving more time to her sister. But I stayed silent, not to reveal their failed deception. No one lies to the face of their own death. So I asked how their choice was reached. We drew lots by throwing a medallion, she said quietly. They had trusted in fate. Oh, how naive they were. They knew fate plays by its own rules, which is true, but it is also my ally. Fate never would have allowed the wrong girl to follow me. In that case, my work was done. She must have been Julia. However, little to my knowledge at the time, that blasted medallion had the same name engraved on both sides. Martha's. So, my first assumption was correct. They were too damn smart, and had fooled both fate and me. One thing is for sure. I'll put things back where they belong. I will correct my ignorance and give fate back its blindfold.
No powiem, że niezła historia.
So bad.
I mi nieźle namieszała w głowie.
I can hardly breathe.
Dobra, moje rzeczy. Nowy rozdział, pogrzeb. Dobra, co my tu mamy? Dziwna notatka. No tutaj nic jeszcze o tym nie wiemy. Tu kluczy nie mamy. Biała dama. Patrzcie, nie mamy, żeby iść znowu na jezioro. Moje rzeczy. Ubierz się na pogrzeb, znajdź list lapo i znajdź torbę. Dobrze. No powiem, że ta historia ze śmiercią, no to było dobre.
Looks like Mother has been here all night with me. Or rather, with Martha. She even left her medication behind. She can't live without that now.
Mhm. Dobra, to ubierzmy się na ten pogrzeb. Dobrze, że... No halo. Czemu ja nie mogę tego? No. Dobrze, że tą czarną kieckę sobie zostawiłam. No to się chyba nada na pogrzeb, co?
I would like to spend a moment with my sister, just me and her alone, before people arrive for the funeral and then take her away.
Dobra, najpierw ty masz jeszcze ostatnie pożegnanie. List tego całego Lapo znaleźć.
No, my bag is not here. My diary. Lapo's letter.
No gdzieś ci pewnie to rzucili.
How is my daughter? Please, doctor. Please give me good news.
Tu podsłuchiwać.
It's a miracle she's alive, Eric, but she will be all right. The bullet passed right by her heart and exited her chest. Unbelievably, it missed her lungs, spine, and heart. She could have been paralyzed or died. But thankfully, she's fine. I examined her thoroughly. She didn't even lose that much blood. She was lucky. And you were lucky, so to speak.
She was lucky that my wife went for a walk in the woods.
Otherwise, she would have bled to death, yes.
I don't know what to say. All of this, it's too much. So much death and suffering. Nothing more.
Don't worry, Eric. She's young, so she'll recover quickly. I'll be here all day anyway.
Thank you, doctor, for everything. Do you mind coming with me to pick my wife up from the cemetery? The funeral will start soon in the chapel.
Of course not. Lead the way.
You know,
Mówisz, że zaraz?
these preparations for the funeral. Irina wants everything to be perfect. It's her way of coping, so she doesn't have to think about everything going on. She is a woman who has suffered so much. Maybe too much.
Już możemy wychodzić. Widzieliście tego ptaka? Co za brutal jakiś. Nie chciałam się odzywać, bo doktorek tam mówił, nie? Dobra, w łazience my coś... O, w łazience jest moja torba, dobra.
There's my bag. Thank God.
O, i patrzcie, i dzisiaj widać, że nie ma tam tych klisz i aparatów, tak jak ostatnio.
Let's hope Lapo's letter is in there.
O, ile my tu mamy rzeczy. To jest list Lapo? Tak, jak go zdążyłam
Dear
przeczytać.
Julia, are you surprised that I've addressed this to you and don't think you're dead? Everyone calls you Martha now, right? I know you too well. I can never understand why no one else can ever tell you apart. Not even your own mother and father. Martha is gone, and I cannot reconcile myself to that fact. I have to stay hidden, and sadly I can't run to you. Even if I would love nothing more than to hold you tight and cry together. No words. I just want to be close to you. Can we meet in the barn tonight? I will try my best to be there around midnight. Don't be alarmed, but if things get ugly, please remember this number, 6934. He knew he was in serious danger, but what about the letter? I had it in my hand when the soldiers ran off. Mummy found me, and if she's read it, well, she hates Lapo, and now she must know who I am. No, she probably would have left me there to die. She'd rather have no daughter than the wrong one. Before I passed out, I must have put it back in my bag. There is no other explanation.
Ja bym taka pewna tego nie była. Dobra, co my tu jeszcze mamy? O, karty trzeba dzisiaj sobie jeszcze powróżyć. Czekajcie, wytasujemy, wywróżymy. Weźmy tak, pierwsze. Okej. Środkową. I ostatnią.
I have to see beyond appearances. There are those who betray me and speak ill of me, but someone will know how to give me the right advice.
Okej, co nam jeszcze się tutaj świeci? Dziennik. O, dziennika dawno nie czytaliśmy, właśnie.
July 19th. I retrieved the cameras at the lake, but I had convinced myself that I was the one who had hurt Martha. So much so that when I had the rolls with me on the way home, I found myself in another horrible dream. I don't even remember going to sleep. As soon as I woke up, I developed the film. The photos confirmed to me that my memory of that night was correct. It was a great relief. I have decided to go back to the lake in an attempt to communicate with the White Lady. I know it's a crazy thought, but I can't get it out of my head. I need to know what happened to Martha, so I must pursue every possible avenue, even the path of insanity.
No tak, tak jak ja wymyśliłam, że Martę duch zabił, nie? No nic, dobra, czyli tutaj mamy wszystko. W zadaniach teraz tak, ostatnie pożegnanie się z siostrą, dobrze. I tutaj użyj numeru. Dobrze, najpierw ja idę do siostry. Czekajcie, co mi tu jeszcze się świeci? Gazeta. A, jeszcze gazeta dzisiejsza nie czytana, no tak. Przecież to takie must have nasze. Tu jest coś nowego, oczywiście, że jest coś nowego dla nas. To tatku nam zawsze te klisze podkłada, czy jak?
The 200 ISO film works well.
No i tyle, to jest nowe, czy to jest to samo?
General Edict K.
Nie, to już było. To już było, tak mi się wydaje. Dobra, chyba nic nowego nie będzie. Zaraz zerknę do rodziców na górę. Siema starzy. Nie ma starych. Dobra, możemy schodzić. Dobra, to idziemy się pożegnać z Martą w takim razie. Otwieraj to. Tutaj to dalej nasz ten pokój zamknięty, dalej nawet nie mamy pojęcia, gdzie może być klucz, prawda? Jest nowa gazetka, dowiedzmy się, co słychać w wielkim świecie. O, coś o nas.
Attempted murder in La Romola. After the murder of Julia Kay, today her twin sister is the victim of another attempted murder. The condition of the young girl, found by the German troops, is no cause for concern. The political motive behind this is becoming all the more clear. But that's not what happened. It's all wrong. Mummy was the one who found me. The German soldiers shot me. Best to stay quiet. No one ever believes the truth.
Oj, propagandę sieją i tyle.
New ordinance ban on the use
O,
of
dzięki ci panie, zakaz korzystania z rowerów.
Over the last few days, cyclists have once again shot at members of the Italian armed forces and at civilians in the streets. The offenders will be punished in accordance with German martial law. Even in Florence, the war is beginning to be felt. Supplies are starting to run out. Bread may only last a few more days. Prices are rising dramatically. Meat can now be found for 100 to 140 lira per kilo. The gas has been cut and there is no coal. The Battle of Tuscany. German operations in the Livorno area. Extremely violent fighting in the streets of the city.
Dobra, i to by było na tyle. Naprawdę cieszy mnie fakt zakazu korzystania z rowerów. Naprawdę, to jest coś pięknego. Dobra, gazetka przeczytana, karty dzisiaj wytelepane. Notatka, no może z matką o tym pogadam, czy coś. Kluczy dalej za groma, nie wiem gdzie są. Dobra, idziemy w takim... A gdzie siostra? Dobra, siostrę to nam chyba w kaplicy, dobra. Ale podsłuchujemy, co tam dają.
Hello? Mum? Can you hear me? Is there somebody there? Mr. Eric?
It's the nanny. I can confide in her.
Oj.
Nanny? Hello, it's me.
What? Hello? Oh my lord. I must be dreaming or something.
No, Nanny, you're not dreaming. It's really me, it's Julia.
Oh my god. Julia. My little sparrow. How wonderful.
Może nam ona powiedzie te klucze.
I thought you were dead. I saw you lying there dead. This brings me so much joy that... Actually, you must explain to me, my little sparrow. What is happening?
I told Nanny everything that had happened. She was sad for Martha, of course, but very happy at the same time. I was the one she had a special bond with. I explained to her that I wanted to try and meet the White Lady, even if I knew it was a silly idea. But she didn't think I was a fool. Quite the opposite. She explained to me what I should do in an attempt to meet her. It was complicated. I noted everything down carefully in my diary. Who knows? Maybe she did it only to keep me occupied, while deciding what to do with me and who to warn. I won't ever know, though, because that very same day, a bomb struck the villa and she died. They all died. We should have been in that house ourselves, but instead, poor Nanny.
Cóż, do dziś się nie dowiedzieliśmy, jak niania ma na imię.
Bye, Nanny. I love you.
Goodbye, my darling. I thought I'd lost you. Be careful, my little sparrow.
Chyba, że jutro będzie w gazecie napisane, tak? Że niania nie żyje. Dobra, coś tu nowego? Pokażcie.
Martha was taken to the chapel for her funeral. I want to say goodbye to her alone before everyone arrives.
Dobra, i możemy telefonu użyć, tak? Co my tu mamy? A, notatkę zrobiliśmy, tak.
Now I know what must be done to meet the lady. Nanny has explained everything to me. I must try to meet her early in the morning when it is foggy, or all will have been in vain. That's what the legend says. This is what I need to do. 1. I must re-invoke her loss by putting her into contact with her lover. To do this, Nanny said to look for his grave in the woods, but there are so many. Daddy always said that infrared photos can see what the naked eye cannot. Maybe then they also see ghosts. There wouldn't be anything strange about that now, considering I'm trying to contact one after all. How crazy. 2. A part of me needs to enter her world. A lock of hair would work, so I'll need scissors to cut some off.
Mamy w pierwszym odcinku
I
znalazłam.
will need an object that connects her world to mine. I don't know what to do for this yet. Hopefully something will come to mind when I least expect it. 4. To communicate with her, I will need to use my tarot cards. I will meet with the lady on the island where her lover was executed.
Dobra. Czyli tak, teraz nam się jeszcze pojawiło, żeby zadzwonić, ale ja się najpierw chcę z Martą pożegnać. Tutaj możesz tu wszędzie zadzwonić. Dobra, biała dama. Musi być mgła, to jest najważniejszy mój osobisty obiekt i ukochany. Zdjęcie duchom, dobrze. Dobra, w każdym razie, ja na razie idę spotkać się z Martą. Ostatnie pożegnanie dzisiaj mamy. Jeszcze się rozglądam, czy nic nowego tu nie ma, ale chyba nie. Dobra, rower, jest zakaz rowerów, dzięki Bogu. Tyle, co się naszarpałam z tamtym rowerem w poprzednim odcinku, to ja bym w życiu już na ten rower nie siadła. Dobra, chyba to jest kaplica, prawda? Bo tu jest ten dzwon i tak dalej. Chodźmy. Co jest? Ten drań przyniósł zwłoki. Co ci ten mały biedny ptaszek zrobił? Czemu ci przeszkadzał? Tak, teraz go spróbuję obudzić, jasne. Umówmy się, to nie było normalne.
Poor little one. He's dead. Poor little guy. His place is by Martha's side. Nanny always calls me Little Sparrow. This is the part of me that died with Martha. It'll be safe next to her.
Okej, całkiem tu dostojnie. Tam coś jest, tu za drzwiami coś jest. Aha, muszę najpierw wróbelkę odłożyć, żeby móc tamto przeczytać. Dobrze, to zróbmy tak. Proszę.
Here, Martha. This is my heart. Carry it with you. I'm starting to understand how painful your condition must have been. Not being able to properly communicate with anyone is becoming increasingly difficult. I envied you, but I did not see your suffering. I did not understand your courage. I miss you so much, Martha. I'm not worthy to dress in your clothes.
Dobrze, a co tutaj dali?
Commune of San Casciano, Province of Florence. Death certificate. From the Register of Death Certificates of this commune, number 174, part 3, series 12 of the year 1944. It is certified that on the day of the 16th of July of the year 1944, Julia Kay has died, resident of Villa Perchebaya, born in La Ramola. On the 26th of February 1923, the daughter of General Erich Kay and Irene K. Don Attilio D will give the funeral, and the esteemed Mr. Alberto M, who will look after the burial in the cemetery of La Romola. Telephone number 6537. The official state civil service. General Galeazzo T.
Okej. Dobra, tutaj chyba już nic więcej nie mamy do zrobienia, już tyle. Są drzwi, ale zamknięte. O, tu jeszcze coś jest.
There's only a few signatures from my funeral. If people had known that it was actually Martha, there would have been far more. I'm sorry that I took this from you too. Holy water. It's only water and yet there's something special about it.
No, z tym się zgodzę. Dobra, tutaj nic więcej nie mamy. Tutaj, no, ten telefon. Mam rozumieć, tak, ostatnie spotkanie mamy to już wykonane. Czyli teraz albo telefon i zadzwonić. Co tu jeszcze jest? Mój szczęśliwy pokój. Aha, tego nie mogę zrobić na chwilę obecną. Możemy iść na cmentarz. O, musi być mgła. Dobra, to na razie nie. Tutaj pamiętnik. Dobra, to chyba chodźmy, zadzwonimy, no bo co innego nam pozostaje? Nic innego teraz nie zrobimy. Jest środek dnia. Gdzie ten parszywiec się drze?
That raven is making a big fuss.
Gdzie on jest w ogóle? Kruk. Dlaczego ten kruk tak kracza? Znajdź kruka. O, wymyślili! Tam latają.
Maybe it's the same raven that killed that poor sparrow.
Wydaje, że się od niego oddalam, go najbardziej tutaj gdzieś słyszałam. O, tam jest, siedzi, o, patrzcie.
I hate bullying, yet it seemed as if the raven wanted to bring the little
Tak, po tym jak go zabił. Tak samo jak samochodem wjechać kogoś specjalnie, a potem go reanimować. Idź mi stąd, brutalu jeden. No jeszcze za krukiem nie chodziłam. Znowu ten czerwony materiał, patrzcie. Tylko tutaj jest go więcej.
dress. It's made from the same fabric I found a shred of next to the lake. In fact, it is torn. It must be my mother's. My goodness.
Mówiłam, że mamusia jest podejrzana? Mówiłam.
I started to suspect that Mummy could have been involved in Martha's murder. Lost in these thoughts, hours passed, and I completely forgot about the funeral. When I realized it was evening, they were already carrying the coffin towards the cemetery. She never loved me, I knew that well, but I would never have believed that. Had it been her? I struggled to believe it, but it made so much sense. At the lake, she must have thought Martha was me because she was convinced that I was dead.
Ale mnie zastanawia, dlaczego pogrzeb był tak późno.
When the funeral ended, I felt an irresistible urge to play. I loved music. I started playing without thinking about the possible consequences. I didn't care anymore. I needed to feel alive, to exist again.
What's going on here? Julia? Is that you? No, it's not possible. Martha's never played. She's deaf, yet no. This is madness. My God. So, Martha? I understand now. You can get all of the attention, right? You were jealous, weren't you? Because she was a wonderful girl and
and you're just a useless little slut. How did you manage to convince her? I get it now. But she talked to me. No, it doesn't make sense. I will have you locked up in an asylum. You hear? That's enough. You will pay for what you've done, you cursed lunatic. They will torture you to reveal the monsters in your head.
Her words were as sharp as blades. I tried to tell her that it wasn't me. I showed her the photos I developed that proved my innocence. But she grew all the more angry, calling me crazy, and then she began to hit me with everything she had at hand. I closed my eyes as more darkness began to take over in me. Memories came flooding back. Not memories of actual past events, but more so of feelings. Feelings I had when I was little. They were scary. They were the fears of a little girl. Despite what had happened, I went walking in the woods early the next morning to meet the lady. The evening before, my father had tried desperately to console me.
Talk to me, Julia. You know I love you. I just want to understand what happened. I am happy you are alive. Even if we have lost Martha, your mother was just in shock. She didn't want to hurt you.
Nowy rozdział, Dama. Dobrze, 5 dni po śmierci Marty. Troszkę to potrwało. Teraz co mamy? Biała Dama. Ukochany, zrób zdjęcie grobu w lesie. Czyli teraz musi być mgła, czyli będziemy mogli zrobić to zdjęcie. Dobrze, ale to już zrobimy w kolejnym odcinku. Ja na razie wam bardzo serdecznie dziękuję za obejrzenie tego i widzimy się niedługo w kolejnym, tak więc trzymajcie się. No i cześć.